Switching your FDA U.S. agent is a straightforward process that typically involves updating your registration information with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA. For any foreign establishment involved in the manufacturing, processing, packing, or holding of FDA-regulated products intended for the U.S. market, appointing a U.S. agent is a legal requirement. But what happens when that relationship no longer serves your business needs? This guide explores the reasons companies switch their FDA U.S. agent, and more importantly, how to do it correctly and efficiently. Ready to switch U.S. agent? This decision could be driven by various factors such as poor communication, non-compliance issues, or a desire to align with a more experienced or specialized agent. Understanding the role of a U.S. agent and the procedure for switching is crucial for companies looking to maintain regulatory compliance with the FDA. Take the time to evaluate your needs, research qualified U.S. agents, and make the switch with confidence. What is a U.S. agent? For foreign manufacturers, distributors, or exporters seeking FDA approval or registration, having a U.S. agent is a regulatory requirement. The U.S. agent serves as a liaison between the FDA and the company, ensuring effective communication and compliance with FDA regulations. This agent is responsible for receiving and forwarding important regulatory correspondence from the FDA, facilitating FDA inspections and audits, and assisting in product recalls or regulatory actions. The U.S. agent does not have direct involvement in the operations of the company, but plays a critical role in the regulatory process, acting as an intermediary to streamline communication with the FDA. You definitely need the assistance of a U.S. agent for the following: FDA registration of your company, FDA registration of the manufacturer or the exporter, if different. Verify that your labels are FDA compliant. File a prior notice for each product and each shipment, Foreign Supplier Verification Program (FSVP). Please keep in mind that your customs broker, including DHL, UPS, or FedEx, will not be able to provide such assistance. However, you can count on them to obtain a U.S. Customs or CBP assigned number by submitting an Importer Identity Form, CBP Form 5106. Can a U.S. distributor act as the U.S. agent? Yes, but be cautious. Distributors may have conflicting interests or may not specialize in regulatory matters. When a distributor can be the U.S. agent, if the distributor agrees in writing to take on the responsibilities of the U.S. agent. If there is no conflict of interest, especially in cases where regulatory neutrality is expected. Things to consider. Potential conflict of interest. A distributor might prioritize commercial interests over regulatory obligations. Liability. Acting as a U.S. agent may expose the distributor to legal or compliance liabilities. Contractual clarity. The roles of distributor versus U.S. agent should be clearly separated in contracts to avoid confusion. What happens if I don't appoint a new U.S. agent after removing the old one? Your registration may be invalid and your products could be denied entry into the U.S. Always ensure there is no gap in U.S. agent coverage. Changing your U.S. agent does not affect your overall FDA registration or business status. Reasons for switching U.S. agent. Several reasons may prompt a company to consider switching their U.S. agent, especially during the FDA registration renewal process. First, non-compliance or poor communication. A U.S. agent failing to communicate effectively or meet FDA expectations could lead to delays in registration renewals, inspections, or other crucial activities. A company may want to switch agents if their current representative is unresponsive or non-compliant with FDA standards. Second, changing business needs. As a business grows or diversifies, its needs may change. A new U.S. agent with more specific expertise, especially in a particular product category, like pharmaceuticals, medical devices, cosmetics, or food, might be necessary to meet the evolving demands of the business. The FDA often sets deadlines for responses to requests for information or corrective actions. Delays or confusion due to language barriers can lead to compliance issues, import holds, or other regulatory penalties. Third, cost considerations. Some companies may look for more competitive pricing or better value-added services, leading them to consider switching agents. A thorough cost-benefit analysis can help a company identify a U.S. agent that offers better service or a more economical solution. Lastly, geographic or time zone considerations. U.S. agents based in different regions may offer varying levels of support, particularly when time zone differences affect communication and responsiveness. Switching agents may be necessary to ensure more effective operational alignment. Switching your U.S. agent involves several steps to ensure compliance with FDA regulations. The exact steps may vary slightly depending on the type of product: foods, cosmetics, drugs, or medical devices. October 1st through December 31st each year is the best time frame. However, that can happen anytime. First, choosing a new U.S. agent. Before making the switch, a company must identify and select a new U.S. agent that aligns with its business needs. This agent should be knowledgeable about FDA regulations, responsive, and capable of managing the responsibilities outlined in the FDA registration process. While the FDA conducts its official business in English, the ability of a U.S. agent to communicate fluently in the native language of the foreign establishment can greatly improve the efficiency and accuracy of a company's regulatory process. Next, notifying the FDA. Once a new U.S. agent is selected, the company must inform the FDA. The change of U.S. agent must be properly documented to avoid any disruption in the registration status. Then, confirming the appointment. U.S. agent confirmation. After a foreign facility submits a registration, FDA will verify that the person or entity identified as the U.S. agent, such as ITB Holdings LLC, has agreed to serve. The FDA sends a confirmation notification of a foreign facility registration to the U.S. agent to ensure that the U.S. agent is aware of the connection. The agency will not confirm any registration or provide the foreign facility with a registration number until the U.S. agent's confirmation within 30 days. If the U.S. agent wishes to no longer serve the already registered foreign facility, the foreign facility will have 60 calendar days to update the facility's registration with a new U.S. agent. In most cases, the registration of the foreign company or its renewal is simply processed by the new U.S. agent following the payment of a service fee. Upon switching U.S. agent, the company must ensure that all FDA-required documentation, including registration renewal forms, is updated and filed accurately. This will help prevent delays or issues during the renewal process. Notify the previous agent. Although not legally required, it's courteous to inform your previous agent that their services are no longer needed. This helps avoid confusion if the FDA contacts them in error. For foreign manufacturers or distributors, the appointment of a U.S. agent is a regulatory requirement. Some companies, particularly those looking to expedite the FDA registration process or cut costs, may resort to using fake or fraudulent U.S. agents. These agents might be non-existent or provide false information, which can undermine the integrity of the registration process. The risks associated with using a fake U.S. agent are significant and can result in severe consequences for the company involved. Regulatory penalties and fines. The FDA takes compliance very seriously, and using a fake U.S. agent is considered a violation of U.S. law. The FDA has the authority to levy significant fines or penalties on companies found to be using fraudulent agents. This can include a suspension or revocation of the company's registration, which can prevent products from being legally sold in the U.S. Product delays and market access issues. If the FDA discovers that a company is using a fake agent, it can lead to delays in product approvals or even a complete halt to market access. The FDA may require the company to re-register with a legitimate U.S. agent, resulting in costly delays that can affect sales, distribution, and the overall business plan. Loss of trust and reputation damage. Engaging in fraudulent activities, such as using a fake U.S. agent, can severely damage a company's reputation. If customers, partners, or the public become aware of the fraudulent behavior, it can erode trust in the company's products and its overall integrity. This reputation damage can have long-term effects on the company's ability to secure partnerships or market products in the U.S. and abroad. Legal and criminal consequences. Beyond administrative penalties, using a fake U.S. agent may lead to criminal prosecution in some cases, particularly if the action was part of a broader scheme to deceive the FDA or circumvent regulatory requirements. This can result in legal fees, lawsuits, and the potential for criminal charges, further complicating the situation for the company. Switching a U.S. agent for the purpose of FDA registration renewal is a strategic decision that requires careful consideration. By understanding the roles and responsibilities of a U.S. agent and the process for making a switch, companies can ensure their FDA compliance remains intact. This change should be made thoughtfully to maintain the smooth operation of their regulatory obligations and avoid unnecessary delays in product approvals, inspections, or communication with the FDA. Is your company manufacturing, exporting, or importing FDA-regulated products? Contact ITB Holdings LLC at www.itb8holdingsllc.com. Use the free live support chat available 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, including in Spanish, German, Dutch, French, and other foreign languages, for your convenience. Get the service your company deserves at the cost you can afford. Join thousands of FDA-registered companies in France, Italy, Spain, Greece, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Germany, Sweden, United Kingdom, Ireland, China, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, United States, Latin America, and Africa, among many others around the world. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights and updates. Hit the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we release new content. Until next time, stay safe, stay compliant, and stay tuned. See you next week.